When's the first? I just can't believe the heroin story. That's nuts. Thank God you didn't try heroin at 13. This would be a totally different dopey episode. But
I wouldn't be here.
Well, you never know. Like I had Mackenzie Phillips on a few times, and she was doing dope at a very young age. And when's the first time you smoked pot?
Let's see. God, I would say. Oh, I know. I was. My parents passed me a joint when I was about 9.
Wow.
We were in a living room in that den, in the family room, and they were just partying up a storm. I might have been younger. I might have been around 7. This was like the mid 70s, maybe 75. So I was about 7 or whatever. And they said, "Hey, you want to try it?" And which is like, what the fuck is that about? But anyway, I remember this little roach, and then taking a little hit. And I remember the resin on the roach, and it was sticky and I could smell it. I love pot so much that I just like, I can't, I'm actually like salivating. Like it actually, I wish I could smoke pot.
Me too.
And then that would be it.
Yes.
I wish I could. And it's not me like trying to like encourage people or like be a proponent or whatever. It's not that I'm a proponent of marijuana. I think it's magnificent. The problem for me is that if I smoke pot, I want other things. And if I smoke pot, all I think about is smoking pot.
Me too. If I take a bong hit, I'm going to be smoking bong hits all day. There is no one hit.
That's it.
And
There's no one hit.
And I'll just be defined by him. And I loved being a stoner. Me being a stoner, it was the greatest thing that like ever happened to me.
Ever. Oh my God, 15 years, total stoner.
When did it start for you?
Well, it started at 15. I was at a Weight Watchers camp, and it was like torture because we were, trying to lose weight, and I used to bring posters of hamburgers on my wall and pictures of burritos, and we used to pay I have so many stories. Oh my God, pay the counselors to go get, loaf of bread and jam. I once was smoking a cigarette at 15 in the dorm room, and I had a jar of Jif peanut butter with a Twix sticking out of it, and I locked myself out of the door with a burning cigarette on the desk. And I had to call the counselor and say, because, either the place was going to burn down or I was going to be guilty. I had no choice. So I said, not only is there a burning cigarette in the room, there's a jar of Jif with a fucking Twix sticking out of it at fat camp. It was the classic. But I started smoking. We used to sneak pot, and there couldn't have been a worse place to be stoned at a camp where you couldn't eat.
Yes.
So we get the munchies, and it was like we were desperate to have a pizza delivered through the window, which we did. We always accomplished it because if there was a will, there was a way. So I started about 15 years old, I would say, started smoking pot. And then by 17, I was a stoner. And at 18, when I was in high school, I barely graduated. I started coming to school stoned. And then pot just became everything. And while we started the group Wilson Phillips, when I was in the summer of my graduating year, I was like in the middle of just like living in a bong and experiencing the CD for the first time and how amazingly crispy and fabulous music sounded, but combining it with being stoned and the group forming, that shaped the next, decade of my life.